All right, you're tuned into NBA Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, as always, Jimmy Crowther, and on today's show, I'm going to be breaking down the top 10 free agents in this 2020 NBA free agency class. Now, yes, it is obviously a very weak free agent class. It is no 2021 free agency class with guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard, or guys like LeBron James. But you know who is in this list? Anthony Davis of the Los Angeles Lakers. He is the clear-cut number one free agent in this next year's class. Now, he does have a $29 million player option, and he is expected to decline that $29 million player option and get some guaranteed money from a team like the Lakers or potentially his hometown Chicago Bulls. Now, Anthony Davis really doesn't have a lot of reason to leave the Los Angeles Lakers this year, especially assuming they can make the NBA Finals and win the NBA Finals. There's no reason for AD to go anywhere, but if he should, I think that team could be the Chicago Bulls. I think he'll at least take a meeting, but at the end of the day, I expect him to sign a 5-year maximum contract with the Los Angeles Lakers and stay put, where he has had an incredible season in all NBA type season at 26 points per game, 9 rebounds, blocking 2.3 shots per game, and shooting better than 33% from 3. I do think he's going to stay put with LeBron James and the rest of the Lakers, but I do want to at least entertain this idea of him going to the hometown Chicago Bulls. So let's talk about that for just a minute. Guys like Kobe White are there. He's probably the new starting point guard for the long haul, a nice young point guard out of North Carolina. Zach LaVine, a 25-point-per-game scorer, and now that the Bulls have Billy Donovan, he can be able to lead younger guys like Otto Porter Jr., Wendell Carter Jr., and even Lauri Markkanen may be coming off the bench behind a guy like Anthony Davis. I like this Chicago team a lot. And AD maybe is saying, hey, I want to get younger and I want to stay younger and go to Chicago. But at the end of the day, my prediction, he stays in Los Angeles. Don't think he's going anywhere. Don't think Laker fans have anything to worry about. But he is the best free agent in this class, so it's going to be definitely interesting to keep an eye on Anthony Davis. Now, the number 2 free agent in this class is a former Los Angeles Laker, Brandon Ingram, and current New Orleans Pelican. Now, Ingram is a restricted free agent this offseason, and he's going to get a lot of offers. He's going to get a lot of maximum contract offers. And this past year, he did have a breakout season. He really showed that he can be an all-star, a go-to talent. But here's the deal. Anything that Brandon Ingram gets offered, whether it's a max contract or otherwise, the Pelicans are going to match that deal. They have the money to do it. They have a guy named Zion Williamson that they want to be able to play alongside Brandon Ingram for the long haul. They've got a nice veteran point guard in Drew Holiday. They've also got a nice point guard in Lonzo Ball that they can develop alongside Ingram. So don't expect him to go anywhere. You look at his improvement from 2018 up to this 2019-2020 season. He went from an 18-point-per-game guy up to 24 points per game, 5 rebounds to 6 rebounds, 3 assists to 4 assists, and even shot the ball well at 46% from the field and 39% from 3. Ingram is a great player, and he's going to get a lot of max offers. He's going to get every team calling him saying they want him to be their next starting small forward. But the Pelicans want to keep him on the books. So I think the Pelicans will re-sign Brandon Ingram. I think he will stay put. They will give him that max contract on day 1 of free agency. And I don't think he is going to go anywhere. But keep an eye on it. It's definitely going to be interesting. He's going to get the big-time offers, and those kind of restricted free agents are a lot of fun to watch when it comes to the free agent market. Now, my number 3 player in this free agent market is Fred VanVleet of the Toronto Raptors. He's an unrestricted free agent this offseason, but I think Fred VanVleet is ready to run his own team, and unfortunately for the Raptors, Kyle Lowry is currently already there running that point guard position. Now, Masai Ujiri has said that he wants VanVleet to be the top priority, and he wants him back in Toronto, but at this point, I don't know if he's going to stay. I think he's going to get overpaid, and I think Toronto is going to be not going to be able to match it, and he's going to leave. And since he's an unrestricted free agent, he can make as much money as he wants on the open market. Now, last year he made $9 million, and he's looking for a pay raise because as the years have gone on, he's taken steps forward in his game. He started out first couple years averaging single-digit points per game and barely even playing. And then the past 2 years, he went from a 6-man last year to a starter this year. 17.6 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. This guy is going to make a lot of money somewhere, and one team that I think is going to pay him is going to be the New York Knicks. Now, the Knicks do have a top 10 draft pick this year, and they are going to be able to use that on a point guard if they wish. But I think the Knicks are ready to start winning now. And if they want to do that, a free agent might be the better option than a draft pick here at the point guard position. And Fred VanVleet might just be that point guard. So they could go Fred VanVleet, RJ Barrett, Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson, and yeah, they want to trade Julius Randle, but he could be at least an option for them offensively with the New York Knicks. So my prediction, Fred VanVleet goes to New York. I think he is gone this year. I don't think he's going to re-sign in Toronto. I don't think they're going to have the money to keep him this off season. But whoever you're a fan of and whichever team you want to see sign a big-name free agent, I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below. So this is kind of a two-parter. So what you got to do, number one, let me know who your favorite team is. And then number two, let me know who you want them to sign in free agency. Whoever it is, you can get as wild as you want or as crazy as you want. Let me know in the comment section below. Let's move on to my number 4 free agent in this free agent class. It is DeMar DeRozan. Now, he has a $27 million player option, and a lot of people expect him to opt into that contract. And I'm on board with those people. I do think DeMar DeRozan is going to opt in. I don't think he's going to make $27 million on the open market. And I think he'll stay one more year in San Antonio and then go ring chasing the next season. If he left right now, he'd probably make about $18 to $22 million, and I just don't think he wants to settle for that kind of money at this point in his career. Now, is San Antonio going to win anything? No, absolutely not. But DeMar DeRozan is still going to be a winning piece for this team. 22 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists this past season with the San Antonio Spurs, who just barely missed the NBA playoffs, all in 34 minutes of action. The guy still gets it done from mid-range, and he gets it done around the rim as well. So my prediction is a pretty simple one for DeMar DeRozan. I think he's going to opt into his contract. I think he's making too much money to pass up. I think San Antonio does want him back to try to make one more playoff push. And I don't think he's going to get that kind of money in the open market. I think he opts in and stays with the San Antonio Spurs. Now, if you want to know where all the big-name free agents are going to go, and right when they go there, we'll probably be live for it all, so you're going to want to make sure you hit that subscribe button. Scroll on down, and if that big red button is still red, then go ahead and click it and change it and make it gray right here, right now. Make sure you subscribe to Chat Sports. Let's go on to my 5th-ranked free agent in this class in Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl Harrell is an unrestricted free agent this season, and a guy who really hasn't made a ton of money in his career is going to get paid this offseason. He's got high energy, he's athletic, and he can finish well around the rim. But, of course, the Clippers want to bring him back, and they want him to be a winning piece alongside Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. But there have been 3 other teams that have been linked to him as of recent. Scoop B. Robinson says that the Mavs, the Knicks, and the Raptors are all going to be calling Montrezl Harrell this offseason along with the Los Angeles Clippers, and they're probably all going to offer him quite a bit of money. But my prediction for Montrezl Harrell, I think he's staying put. I think he re-signs with the Clippers, and they make another championship run this offseason with Los Angeles. Now, it's way too early to tell. Maybe he's unhappy. Maybe he thinks Paul George is getting some star treatment, but I do think he'll stay in LA, and I think he'll stay with the Clippers. But let me know what you guys think. Who do you think Montrezl Harrell is going to sign with this offseason? If you think it's going to be the Knicks, type NYK, which wouldn't it just be classic Knicks fashion to sign another power forward? If you think it's going to be the Dallas Mavericks, type DAL. If you think it's going to be the Toronto Raptors, type TOR. Or if you agree with me, type LAC for the Los Angeles Clippers. Let's move on to number 6, a former New York Knick, Danilo Gallinari. Now the Oklahoma City Thunder is hitting the open market. He is an unrestricted free agent, and I don't expect him back in Oklahoma City. Now, of course, with Gallinari, his problem has always been that he has injuries. But his offense has never been in question. He has always been a solid offensive player when he was with the Clippers, when he was with the Knicks, and now when he's been with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, he's probably going to look to join a contender as he is 30 years old and he is ready to win right now. And honestly, his points per game and his rebounds per game point to that. As he put up 19 points per game with the Thunder, he was one of the best three-point shooters, one of, if not, I think maybe the best free throw shooter in the NBA. He passes the ball okay from that power forward position as well. Now, for the Thunder, they've got a lot of moving pieces. Of course, domino number 1 to fall was Billy Donovan, head coach of the Thunder. He is no longer there. But Chris Paul, likely getting traded. Steven Adams, likely getting traded. Dennis Schroeder, likely getting traded. And Danilo Gallinari and Nerlens Noel are both free agents this offseason. So there are a lot of potential moving pieces with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And one of those guys is Gallinari. You know where I think he's going to go? I'm going to say the Dallas Mavericks. They have had rumored interest in him for a very long time, and doesn't it just make sense? I mean, come on, put 2 and 2 together. I do think the Mavs want another playmaker and another scorer. I think Gallinari could be that guy if they can make the money work. So that's my prediction right now, but things are bound to change. And one thing that Fanatics does is if somebody does change teams, they have jersey insurance. And in free agency, everybody's changing teams all the time. Now, if you want to rep your favorite player or your favorite team, go to chatsports.com/NBA jerseys. These authentic Nike jerseys are shipping for free for a limited time only. So go to chatsports.com/NBA jerseys and pick up your favorite team, your favorite player jersey today. Whoever it is, whatever team it is, you guys can get it with our friends over at Fanatics, shipping for free for a very limited time. Now let's move on to my 7th-ranked free agent this offseason, BOGDANOVIC, and he is a restricted free agent. So that makes it a little bit more difficult for other teams to pay him, but it'll at least make it interesting. Now the Kings are expected to let a lot of players walk this offseason, and one of those guys could be BOGDANOVIC. Now he had a ton of little minor injuries that added up to him missing a lot of time this year, and people thought this was going to be really a breakout year, but it still kind of held him back just a little bit, and he only put up 15 points per game. Now over the past 3 years, we've seen steady improvement from him. 11 points his rookie year, up to 14 points his 2018-2019 year, up to 15 points in 2019-2020. BOGDANOVIC, it's going to be very interesting to monitor his free agency. I don't know where he's going to go. I know the Mavs have some interest there. The only prediction I have for BOGDANOVIC right now is that he leaves the Sacramento Kings. Where do I think he's going to go? I have absolutely no idea. I think the Knicks could make some sense, but I don't think Sacramento is going to match an offer for BOGDANOVIC. It just doesn't make any sense for them to let him stay because they are looking to do a full-on rebuild, and holding on to him would cost a lot of money. Let's go on to my 8th-ranked free agent in this Week 2020 NBA free agency class. It's Andre Drummond of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, Drummond has a $28 million player option this offseason, and he is expected to opt into that deal. Now, here's the deal with Drummond. He puts up big numbers. He always has, ever since he was with Detroit and now with the Cavaliers. But he has never had his numbers transition into winning basketball. In fact, 4 of the last 5 years, he has been the leading rebound getter. You look at total rebounds, and Rudy Gobert played a few more games than Andre Drummond, so it's probably why he out-rebounded him here, but Drummond, over the past 5 years, 2018-19 led the league with 1,232 rebounds. The next year, 1,247. The next year, 1,115. And the year before that, 1,198 rebounds. The guy always gets rebounds, but he never transitions his rebounds into winning games. So I don't really think he's going to go anywhere because I don't think any team is going to offer him $29 million on the open market, especially when you're a big man in today's NBA that can't shoot. So my prediction for Drummond, he opts in, doesn't go anywhere, and stays with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now let's go on to free agent number 9, and that's Gordon Hayward of the Boston Celtics. Congrats to Gordon Hayward for just having his first son, finally. But now he has a player option, $34 million worth of a player option with the Boston Celtics. Now, when he was been healthy, which has not been a lot this year, he has shown flashes of his old self. And people are saying, he hasn't been that healthy. I think he's going to pick up that player option for $34 million. You look at his time in Utah versus his time with the Boston Celtics, and it's been a bit of a difference. He's dropped off from 15 points per game down to 13. Rebounds are about the same. Assists are about the same. Three-point percentage is taking a dip, and he hasn't played in as many games because he hasn't been healthy since being with the Celtics. So what I think Hayward's going to do is opt into that $34 million deal and stay put because there's just no reason for him to leave when he hasn't fully proven himself. So go ahead, make some money for your new kid and make some money for your wife. Stay in Boston and make that $34 million. Now, before I get into my final free agent, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to Chat Sports, where we're doing free agency, NBA draft, NBA playoffs, and NBA finals coverage all season and all off-season long. If you haven't subscribed already, I don't really think you're a true NBA fan. So all you got to do is scroll down, hit that big red button, or go to youtube.com/ChatSportsTV and subscribe today. Now let's get into free agent number 10. Davis Bertans of the Washington Wizards, another unrestricted free agent that has turned himself to not only a good shooter, but one of the best three-point shooters in the entire NBA. Now, defensively, he doesn't really offer anything at all. He's not a good defensive big man. He's not even a good rebounding big man. As this past year with the Wizards, he put up, pretty solid numbers. But the main thing that stuck out is that he's so young and shoots the ball lights out at 42.4% from three. He scored 15 points per game, pulled down 4.5 rebounds, and dished out 1.7 assists. Some team is going to pay him a lot of money, but the Wizards are going to be that team that pay him that much money. I think they want to keep him around. I think they want him alongside young guys like Rui Hachimura and potentially Bradley Beal and John Wall for the long haul. I don't think he is going anywhere. So my prediction is that Davis Bertans returns to the Washington Wizards. Now, the last couple of guys that we talked about have both been big men in Andre Drummond and Davis Bertans. So what I want you guys to do to end this segment is pick one of them. Which free agent big man would you rather have? Type AD for Andre Drummond, type DB for Davis Bertans. Would you rather have the guy that can shoot lights out in Bertans or the guy that gets a lot of rebounds in Andre Drummond?